Obama administration interference in drug investigations involving the Hezbollah terror group. A Politico article asserts the interference was intended to smooth the way for President Obama's legacy Iran nuclear deal. Chief White House correspondent John Roberts has the breaking details on that story tonight and the day with President Trump. Good evening, John.
Good evening to you. Attorney General Jeff Sessions tells Fox News that he is looking into allegations the Obama administration derailed a DEA operation that was investigating the smuggling of cocaine into the United States by Hezbollah. Sessions has ordered a review of Project Cassandra, which was investigating and prosecuting Hezbollah personnel. As you mentioned, the allegations that the Obama administration interfered in Project Cassandra were first raised in a Politico magazine article. In a statement to Fox News talking about the opening of this review, the Attorney General said, quote, "While I am hopeful there were no barriers constructed by the last administration to allowing DEA agents to fully bring all appropriate cases under Project Cassandra, this is a significant issue for the protection of Americans." DOJ sources say that review could lead to the reopening of prosecutions of Hezbollah officials and could open another Inspector General's investigation of DOJ personnel. Fox News has also learned that President Trump is expected to approve the sale of very powerful anti-tank missiles to the Ukrainian government. This would mark a major escalation in U.S. support for Ukrainian forces as they battle Russian-aligned fighters in eastern Ukraine. That sale, by the way, would require congressional approval before the State Department goes ahead. President Trump left the White House this morning bound for his Christmas vacation in Mar-a-Lago, Florida, with the wind in his sails after signing his vaunted tax reform bill. President Trump gave a fist bump when he stepped off Air Force One in West Palm Beach today, the signature issue of his election campaign now codified into law.
All of this, everything in here, is really tremendous things for businesses, for people, for the middle class, for workers. And I consider this very much a bill for the middle class and a bill for jobs. Democrats continue to slam the plan as terrible for the country.
Republicans took a victory lap because they successfully sold America's children's future by handing tax breaks to corporate America and the wealthiest.
But today, two more major corporations announcing tax reform-related benefits for workers. Sinclair and PNC joining Boeing, AT&T, Comcast, Wells Fargo, and Fifth Third Bank, handing out Christmas bonuses to some 55,000 employees. New England Patriots owner Bob Kraft telephoned the president yesterday to say he supports the bill, that it will drive economic growth, raise wages, and create jobs.
He's going to buy a big plant in the great state of North Carolina, and he's going to build a tremendous paper mill there, or paper products plant.
President Trump invoked the name of Ronald Reagan, saying his tax cut is bigger than Reagan's. Though measured as a percentage of GDP, it's not even close. And with the tax bill, President Trump claimed to have signed more legislation in his first year than even the historic frontrunner Harry Truman.
We have, I believe it's 88. Which is number one in the history of our country. Second now is Harry Truman.
Tax reform behind him, the president will spend the week at Mar-a-Lago, looking ahead to his 2018 agenda, which includes rebuilding infrastructure, immigration reform, and welfare reform. President Trump wants to get bipartisan buy-in, so infrastructure will likely go first.
Infrastructure is by far the easiest. People want it, Republicans and Democrats. We're going to have tremendous Democrat support on infrastructure, as you know.
Immigration reform and welfare reform will be a much harder sell. And in a combative election year, Democrats are expected to give the president little or none of what he'll ask for. The 2018 elections were front and center the same day President Trump celebrated the passage of tax reform. The president huddling with Chief of Staff John Kelly, Kellyanne Conway, Communications Director Hope Hicks, Political Director Bill Stepien, former campaign manager Corey Lewandowski, and the Trump campaign Digital Director Brad Parscale. Sources tell Fox News the meeting grew heated when Lewandowski rang the alarm that the president was not being well served by the current political operation at the White House run by Stepien, and that changes need to be made. A day earlier, former Chief of Staff Reince Priebus told the president the same thing. Lewandowski also told the president that the Republican National Committee needed to do better. A GOP operative tells Fox News there needs to be better coordination on communications, that when the White House is in a political knife fight, it needs air cover from the RNC. One GOP source went so far as to tell Fox News the RNC is a disaster, that the president needs to dump that place and start over. Midterm elections in a president's first term are historically difficult, though Republicans fear there could be a bloodbath in November unless something is done to change the strategy. One other piece of business here, Corey Lewandowski and Steve Bannon, the president's former chief strategist, are expected to appear before the House Select Committee on Intelligence to talk about the Russia investigation early next year. Brett?
A lot going on. John Roberts live on the North Lawn. John, thanks.
Thank you. God bless you. And God bless America.